Incoming message.
Right, let's jump straight into this explainer, because today we're looking at a serious warning. We're examining a chilling incident that absolutely forces us to rethink our vulnerability to unseen forces. We aren't just looking at a spooky story here, we're looking at a forensic wake-up call. It's a massive red flag about an environment that doesn't just hold secrets, but actively fights back against the tools we use to uncover them. We're going to explore a phenomenon that completely defies our standard understanding of both the paranormal and the technological.
So, what happens when unseen forces don't just haunt a room, but actively destroy your technology? It's a question that completely upends how we investigate the unknown. Picture this. Jade and Mandy of the Ghost Club Paranormal team visit Globe, Arizona. They were expecting a totally standard investigation, setting up to capture some audio or maybe a stray shadow. But what they encountered instead was a complete, synchronized, technological blockout. Their equipment didn't just drain, it was actively targeted.
Let's move into part 1, the Globe Jail incident. We need to set the scene for this unprecedented event at a historic 115-year-old jail in a town deeply rooted in old mining infrastructure.
Now, to understand the weight of this event, you gotta understand who we're dealing with. Jade and Mandy, they aren't amateurs. They've got a massive audience, over 47,000 YouTube subscribers, and their live streams pull in upwards of 56,000 views. They've been doing this for years. They are highly experienced investigators, bringing in standard, reliable gear. We're talking EMF meters, thermal imaging, motion sensors, meaning they know exactly what typical equipment failures and natural environmental interference look like. They know the difference between a bad battery and something far more sinister.
But then we hit this crucial detail. The one thing that shifts this from a normal, everyday investigation into a terrifying warning of a weaponized phenomenon. The number 12. Exactly 12 minutes after they stepped foot into that old jail, every single piece of their electrical equipment began to fail. And I don't mean gradually, not one by one. I mean an immediate catastrophic cascade.
Which brings us to Section 2, Anatomy of a Breakdown, where we see a synchronized failure. Let's look at the actual forensic timeline of this breakdown.
This sequence brilliantly illustrates the rapid, synchronized events within that fateful 12th minute. So, minutes 1 through 11, totally normal. They are just getting their baseline readings. But look at minute 12. The thermal imaging camera throws up static and goes completely black. In that exact same window, the EMF meter, which measures electromagnetic fields, spikes to its absolute maximum reading before completely dying out. And simultaneously, the digital audio recorder, which had been working perfectly moments before, is suddenly capturing pure white noise at frequencies that literally shouldn't exist. This proves we're looking at a targeted anomaly, not just some random battery drain.
All right, part 3, the synchronization anomaly. Let's drill down into what actually failed during that exact window to understand why it completely defies any natural explanation.
What's truly anomalous here is that these are completely independent systems. Think about it. You have a thermal camera using infrared, an EMF meter using magnetic sensors, and a digital recorder using acoustic tech. They all have totally different functions, different manufacturers, and most importantly, separate independent power sources. The odds of a simultaneous natural failure across all these varied technologies, it's virtually impossible.
So, the crucial point we need to take away is that environmental factors affect independent systems randomly. If it were just the old mining infrastructure or maybe some bad wiring in the jail causing interference, one device might fail or another might give a weird reading an hour later. But what Jade and Mandy experienced was a systematic, synchronized disruption. Make no mistake, that is the hallmark of intentional manipulation.
And this brings us to a really stark realization. When a standard ghost shows up, you usually get evidence, right? Audio EVPs, visual orbs on camera, sudden temperature drops. But when this unseen force showed up in Globe, it didn't offer evidence. It completely disabled their ability to measure anything. It caused synchronized sensor death, off-the-scale EMF spikes, and radio static patterned into impossible frequencies.
Our source material sums this up perfectly. When multiple independent sensors malfunction in synchronized patterns, that's not paranormal activity. That's electromagnetic manipulation. This isn't about ghosts just breaking your technology for fun. This is a warning about an intelligent presence weaponizing the environment against our tech. When systems go down in synchronized patterns like this, you are no longer dealing with a haunting, you are dealing with an active suppression tactic.
This forces us into part 4, weaponized electromagnetic phenomena. We have to completely shift our perspective from a ghost hunt to a forensic investigation of a technological attack.
Which brings us to this absolutely critical definition of the true threat they encountered. We are talking about the weaponized electromagnetic spectrum. This means the intelligent, intentional manipulation of electromagnetic fields to remotely jam, disable, or even destroy electronic sensors. It means they walked into a space occupied by something that has actively learned how to jam electronic sensors and remotely shut down the very devices we rely on to perceive the world around us.
And honestly, perhaps the most chilling takeaway is that this force actively resists documentation. The fact that the digital recorder didn't just quietly shut off, but blasted pure white noise at frequencies that shouldn't exist in that environment, that tells us a lot. It tells us this entity doesn't just happen to cause interference as a byproduct. No, it intentionally, actively fights back against being recorded or quantified by modern science.
Finally, Section 5, Protecting the Unseen. Let's look at the human element of this unprecedented event and what it actually means for us.
When you watch the footage released by Ghost Club, man, you don't just see failing equipment. You hear the deep, genuine fear in Jade and Mandy's voices when they realized absolutely nothing was recording. They went in prepared for a ghost, but the realization that their systems were being systematically jammed, that sparked true terror. It confirmed they had encountered a phenomenon displaying intelligent, actively hostile resistance.
Which leaves us with this final, chilling thought to chew on. If it's not a ghost haunting the jail, what is it protecting? If this highly capable, weaponized anomaly isn't a simple haunting, what unseen secrets is it so aggressively guarding from our technology? If our most advanced sensors can be blinded in exactly 12 minutes, we really have to ask ourselves, what else is out there, manipulating the spectrum, completely unseen? Keep your eyes open, folks.
Come to me, chickens! Cock-a-doodle-doo!